Kind of a weird lesson here. 2.5 is about literal equations. That word literal equation is our first vocab word. It's an equation that consists primarily of variables. So if you think about, like when I think about literal equations, I usually think about a science class. Like if you have an equation given to you in science, you probably have a bunch of variables. An easy way to think about it is like if you were to try to figure out the area of a rectangle, area equals length times width, right? That's an example of a literal equation. It's pretty much exclusively variables. So when we solve each equation/formula for a specific variable, it will tell us what we are solving for. So in letter A, it says to solve this equation for y. That means my end product, my answer, is going to be an equation that starts with, or maybe it ends with, y equals. Y will be on one side of the equation all by itself. Everything else will be on the other side. So just kind of like how I've been doing in all of these examples so far, I'm going to use my reverse GEMDAS in order to solve for these specific variables. So here is the y that I'm trying to isolate. I can see that it's multiplied to that 3. So to undo, I would divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels out. I'm left with y. And now on the right side, we have to be careful because this might be a little bit different. There are two separate terms that are being divided by 3. I have 6x divided by 3, and I have 12 divided by 3. We have to make sure that in our final answer, we have divided all the terms by 3. So this should be 2x plus 4. Any questions on that? Essentially the same stuff that we've been doing. Look at what happens in letter B. Again, it's telling me to solve this equation for p, which means my final answer should look like p equals and then everything else. Any variable in this equation that is not the p, I'm going to move that using addition and subtraction, just like I was doing last lesson when I was moving all the variables to one side. So I see this 4m here. It moves as a unit together. I'm not going to split it up. How would I move that 4m to the other side? James? Yeah, there's a positive sign in front of this 4m that we can't see. So to do the opposite, I subtract 4m from both sides. I don't divide by 4. I don't subtract just the m. I take that whole thing as a unit and move it. So I'm left with negative 5p equals 25 minus 4m. Notice I can't combine those two things over there because they are not the same variable. They're not like terms, so that's all I can do for now. Then, divide both sides by negative 5. I'm left with p equals, and now I have to remember to divide both of those things by negative 5. 25 divided by negative 5, negative 5. Negative 4m divided by negative 5. Well, I have a negative divided by a negative, so I know my answer should be positive. And I'm just going to make this easy for myself. I'm going to write this as a fraction. 4 over 5m. That's all I got to do there. Questions on that? Okay, let's look at letter C. I'm solving this for r, so my final answer should look something like r equals. What's going to be my first step here? I believe in you. You got it. What's my first step? Oh. Go ahead, Cody. I want the r to stay here. So everything else moves. Cody. Minus 18 on both sides. 7q minus 18 equals negative 2r. Then what? Autumn? Divide everything by negative 2. That means, cancels out over here, 7 divided by negative 2, I can literally just write that as 7 divided by negative 2. Don't forget your Q. Negative 18 divided by negative 2. Two negatives make a positive 9. And that equals R. And I'm done. R's by itself, I'm done. Questions on this? Okay, I'm going to show you one that's like kind of tricky, but I think we can do it. This is a really good example. This is the formula for something. I don't remember. It's a geometry formula for area. And it says, I want to find H. So this is like, oh, I'm in geometry. I have all the measurements for everything. I know its area. I don't know its height. So I want to rearrange everything to try to find its height. So I know that in the end, it should look like my height equals a bunch of things. Let's treat that fraction as a fraction. Right here. What is it doing to my H? What operation? Huh? Yeah, it's multiplying to the H. So if I were to just think about that as a fraction, how would I get rid of a fraction multiplied to something else? What's the opposite of multiplying by a fraction? Or I guess what's the opposite of multiplying in general? Dividing. So I'm going to divide by this fraction. Oh, here we go. It's going to get complicated here. I'm dividing by this fraction, which is the same as what? Multiplying by its reciprocal, right? So, okay, hear me out here. Here's my first part. How do I write A as a fraction? A over 1. So I keep this first one the same. I'm going to change the sign to multiplication. And then the reciprocal of A plus B over 2, flip them upside down. 2 over A plus B. Oh, that was not nice. I know. Stay with me for a second, though. So H is by itself, because that canceled itself out. What's A times 2? What's 1 times A plus B? It's A plus B. And there we go. H equals 2 times A over A plus B. So that one's kind of probably harder than anything I would give you on a quiz or a test. But, like, we figured it out, right? We treated it as a fraction. We got it. All right. Go ahead and try A, B, and C here. And then I'll take some volunteers. All right. So these 3 answers look perfect. Let me box them in here. One thing about this last one, because maybe this doesn't make sense to some of you here. Hey. Another way that I can write this, because I know that this is like a 1 in front of my x, right? I could also write this as y equals negative 1 minus 1/6 x. Either one of these works for me, but they're both correct. Any questions on these?